Welcome to The Preferred List, a podcast about the people behind the best wedding days. I'm James, a wedding filmmaker. I've spent years in the industry working alongside incredible vendors, and this show is all about the real conversations with the ones who make it happen. Whether you're a vendor or a couple, you'll get honest insight, good stories, and maybe a little inspiration along the way. Let's meet today's wedding vendor. Hey Alex, how's it going?
Hey James, how's it going? Very
Good.
excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you on. You guys don't know this, but I ran into Alex a long time ago at a wedding for a friend of ours, mine. Maybe not. I don't know if you did them before.
No, I didn't know. No.
But Alex was DJing and I was listening to the mix and I was like, oh, okay, this is what a legit DJ sounds like. And the party that you put on was just awesome. So I'm excited to dive into all things DJ, what's a good DJ, what's not a good DJ, and the experience that you've had running your business. Before we jump into that, though, we are here at Harmony Forge Inn. Harmony Forge is nestled into the rolling hills of Bellefonte, just about 15 minutes away from Penn State, and it features a historic house that was built in 1795, a newly remodeled Creekside Lodge, and a rustic barn with some modern touches. And if you haven't met Bill and Casey, the owners here, just fantastic people, and they really go the extra mile, I feel, to make a couple's day the best. It is a place to get married, but it's much more than that for them. So I'm just grateful for them for having me here and letting me host some episodes of the podcast here. And you've DJ'd here a little bit?
Yeah. I've DJ'd here under previous ownership and also with Casey and Bill as owners, and they're a breath of fresh air. They're fantastic. They're doing everything right, from marketing to running the venue as well.
Yeah, so super fun. But we're here, Alex. The story of me seeing you for that first time and hearing the mix and just seeing that for me something was different. You guys listening might not know, but I do have 2 degrees in music, which sort of get used a little bit in videography. I mean, there's some of that music background that's helping. But I do appreciate greatly when a DJ is not just fading songs and taking the effort into crafting a good mix, noticing what's going on the dance floor, and just hosting a good party. But like I say with a lot of guests, at one point you were not a DJ and then you were a DJ.
Yes.
So take me back to that point where this all started for you with, I know you have Mint DJ and you kind of have your DJ Alex Nepa as well.
Yep.
But take me back to when all of that started.
God. So first of all, thank you so much for the kind words and remembering that day from so far back.
It sticks out like a sore thumb. And when people ask who's a good DJ, I'm like, that dude for sure.
No, I really appreciate that. God, where it started, I started in nightclubs and bars and fraternities at Penn State, and kind of evolved from there. And the wedding thing kind of became a progression. I would like to say that it was like, planned out and intentional, but more so it was just, some couples had started seeking me out from playing the club and things like that. And, at first I'm in the lane of like, oh, what is a wedding DJ? What should I do?
Yeah.
Do I play all this old stuff? Do I play interactive group dances? Just trying to like wrap my head around all of that way back when. But yeah, really my first wedding ever was more of happenstance. A couple that I knew, friends, their DJ had bailed on them, the week of the wedding. And sadly, you hear about those stories way too much. And they had basically reached out to me, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never hosted. Weddings are so much different than nightclubs and
Yeah.
bars and other things. There's so much hosting and emceeing and kind of navigating the formal stuff. And I had no idea what I was doing there. But at the end of the day, I saved myself because I rock the party still. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it just kind of grew from there. But going into like the difference between me and Mint and all of that. 10 years ago, I started actually 10 years ago. Yeah, almost exactly 10 years ago. I started Mint DJ Events, or Mint DJ and Event Group as it's known now. And really, it just, the demand for me at weddings was kind of outpacing my availability. So I wanted to surround myself with like-minded guys and girls, or a crew and a team that, were good DJs, real DJs
Yeah.
that can actually mix music, be fluid, be creative, read a room, and not just be, hosts that, talk on the microphone and fade songs in and out.
Yeah.
I think the party part of the wedding is really what people are seeking out for DJs. And some DJs tend to overthink, what, a wedding is and what people expect from a wedding DJ. So yeah, there's Mint and there's me. You could book me through Mint or through my website, and yeah, we've got just a solid like-minded crew.
It's so cool to hear the experience, and even I mean, I'd love to dive more into like the decision to start, kind of expanding too. But you started in the kind of club event kind of thing. I have to imagine like some of the party stuff might kind of translate,
Yes.
but where did you kind of pick up the idea of like what's it look like to kind of host, do the MC, be on the mic for like the right moments, not say too much? Like how did all of that kind of develop over time?
So I've always been in love with the DJ culture and DJ scene. So it just so happened that I was networked really well with DJs in other markets and all across the United States. So it was a lot of, shadowing, asking the right questions and trial and error
Yeah.
too. Just to being total blunt, you make a mistake once, you
You're like,
learn
oh,
from it
that
and
did
yeah,
not
don't do
work.
it again.
Yeah.
Yep. But realistically, I was actually a general manager at another local company here in town. It was called Local Motion DJs, which was founded by the son of the gentleman that owns AccuWeather.
Oh,
And
cool.
I was working for him doing some weddings and helping him run his company. And eventually I just offered to buy it because of the back end framework that existed and some of the contracts. So I bought that company, and that's how I formed Mint DJ and Event Group.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't probably hear a lot of wedding vendors buying businesses.
Yeah, it was an expense that I really couldn't afford at the time, but I made it work. Yeah.
Yeah. So, was there a part in there, in that decision-making process to be like, "I'm gonna take this step, ask this guy if I can buy this business," where you were like, "I don't know if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is gonna pan out." Like, how did that you made a big decision to just jump into that.
Yeah, I never want to sound cocky, but I guess when you spend money in a large amount, you never really, or at least I never really have the mindset that it's not going to work. It's like I need to make this
It has
work.
to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's no way this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is just believing in what you do, staying simple to start. Don't put yourself in too many, different pots. And yeah, that was it. But yeah, it was definitely intentional, and to an extent, like it was a frustration. Like I was like, okay, I need to do something, and I need the back end and the bones of a business, and
Yeah.
that company had that.
What kind of hardships did you kind of overcome or experience in those first like kind of growing pains years of like I know you kind of bought
Yep.
with a framework, but still like you're kind of starting something new.
I think initially, probably like one of the toughest parts was, so I wanted to aggressively pay off that loan, so it didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I may have, in some areas, in some moments, aggressively paid it off too much while keeping cash flow minimal, and that kind of was never really painful to the point of a client, but for me, it was
Yeah.
stressful. Yeah.
Yeah. You're I feel like we're like deep in the business mindset, and I love it because I feel like a lot of wedding vendors kind of get put in this category of like sort of business
Yeah.
owners.
Right.
Like we sort of do some businessy things, but not maybe everyone's like entrepreneurial mindset is super strong, but it seems like for you, you're thinking way more business minded as opposed to just like, I'm kind of a DJ that does some weddings.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. I am way more of a creative and way more of like a music nerd that loves
Yeah.
to just go out and play music and sit behind my computer at home and make my own edits and mashups and things like that. But yeah, you need to know the business end and the things that you're weak at. You need to surround yourself with people that are better than you.
Yeah. So you were DJing, doing kind of like the nightclub thing, picked up this new business. Um, Obviously, the business was kind of tied into weddings already.
Yes.
Those first couple weddings, were you like, yeah, I could see myself doing this for 10 years? Or were you kind of still like testing the waters a little bit?
No, it was to me like it felt like I'm like this is fire, this is magic.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I don't know, I just get so excited about it.
What
And
was it about those first couple that you're like, I could totally do this for 10 plus years?
so there was a point, and it was right around the time when I started the business where I was still kind of like playing what I thought should be a wedding DJ. Like in my mind, I was like
The
playing a
picture of it,
character. Yeah, I
yeah.
was like, oh, I need to be this to be a wedding DJ. Like I need to play some of these, Brown Eyed Girl, things like that. And music, obviously evolves beyond that and gets newer, and couples get younger and parents get younger too. So you need to evolve the music, and we could talk all about that later on. But it was a couple that hired me after seeing me in the club and was like, hey, we saw you at a wedding. We've seen you at the club. We want Club Alex. And it was like the first wedding I DJ'd like that. And obviously, I still played some music for older
Yeah,
guests and did it creatively and
yeah.
fun. But yeah, it was that moment, and like kind of the moment after that wedding, there were a couple was like that was the best night of our lives. That was legit, and that was like the magic in it. That was the fire in it.
Yeah, so it seems like if people are seeing you now, are they getting more of the club Alex, or are they kind of getting a new version? Like, if you could kind of
It's
describe the style a little
Man,
bit.
so one thing to probably know, yeah, they're definitely probably getting the Club Alex, but with the refinement of, of wedding
Yeah,
presentation.
we're not just like,
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not just playing F-bombs and everything like
Yeah,
that. Sometimes wedding after parties for sure. But in DJ software, they've got folders or crates. They call them crates because it's the old school carrying around
yeah.
crates of records. But I delete my crates every year. So like I treat every wedding season not like a tour per se, but I always go in fresh with new ideas. I delete old songs that might not work anymore. I freshen up songs that are working, come up with new routines and creativity pieces, and really do a lot of production to kind of keep myself energized, but also not become stale like I feel a lot of weddings DJs do.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can. It's accurate,
Yeah.
because I know it's kind of a funny thing now that I'm thinking about it. Like, you're really only experiencing mostly your weddings,
Yes.
so there's not probably a lot of times where and maybe you're a guest at some weddings here
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there, but like a lot of times you're not really seeing what else is out there. A lot of what's out there is fading into new songs, playing the entire song, which I cannot stand, and there's more that goes into it.
Yep.
So if someone's listening, they love the idea of like, man, DJ sounds like an awesome job. How do they go from, well, I could create a playlist. I could let Spotify kind of like fade in and out the song to like you're reading the room, you're developing a set, you're mixing with intentionality. Like, how do they go from point A to point B?
So number one, if I'm gonna defend, if you're looking to become a DJ, do it. It's awesome, but realize you're giving up every Saturday, so you're gonna miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're okay with that, and you're passionate about music, and you want to be creative, and you want the rewarding feeling of just rocking a party, and you don't have to be the front and center player. That's what I'm very much an introvert.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, and I think a lot of DJs are,
Yeah.
but I'm in the background and putting the couple in the middle of the dance floor and all of their guests in the middle of the dance floor, and that's what you get to do as a DJ, and that's what's so exciting is like you get this amazing rewarding feeling of playing songs that people are in love with, and also reading them, like getting in their head and reading them and playing just that right song at the right moment. So if you're starting off and you've got killer playlists and you're like, I think I've got something for music here. I mean, song selection is the most important thing. Like, I would 100% hire a DJ, and I want DJs to mix. I will teach them how to mix. But I want a DJ that's going to play the right song at the right moment versus like the most technical DJ who's like the cleanest mixer,
Yeah.
but playing songs that nobody's feeling because that's what it's about. It's about a feeling.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, it's a great point, sort of against like the super technical mixer, and more, almost more so focusing in on like reading the room. What would be the next best song to put into
Hmm.
the mix, literally, so that the party kind of keeps going. I'm curious though, you're balancing like that crowd interaction, seeing what's going well, but you also have some sort of list that the couple has said, like, hey,
Yes.
we want to hear these songs, or maybe, and maybe you can kind of fill me in. Is it like 20 songs, 100 songs? But like, we want to see these songs be played, but you also have to like read the room, and
Yeah.
maybe that song that they want played is not going to be the best next song.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's timing, and as I'm planning things out with my couples and having the conversation of what's going to happen at the weddings, and where music is going to go. We do have a back end planning area. It's super cool. Some couples absolutely dive right in and load us up with songs. Other couples are like, oh, weddings are so much work to begin with. This feels like more work. So we could chat it out, of course, if you
Yeah.
don't like doing the online planning thing. But I think the sweet spot for music must plays, songs you love, and music do not plays, songs you hate and don't want to touch at your wedding, is like a dozen to 20 on each category.
Okay.
And some couples will actually share like a Spotify playlist of like hundreds of songs. And I like that. I just go into that thinking like, okay, I'm probably gonna hit a lot of these songs, but it's more like a Pinterest mood board for music. So it
Oh, interesting.
kind of gives me your vibe and kind of what you listen to and what you love and what you had experiences to.
Yeah. So from the mood board, you're like, hey, these kind of songs are gonna still fit in the style, but they might be a better song to play next,
Yep.
and then we can get to your must play in maybe a song or two.
Yep. And a lot of times too, when couples share like, must plays and big lists with me, I'll map out like the songs that I don't think are gonna hit on the dance floor as dancing songs at cocktail hour, during dinner,
Gotcha.
things like that.
So when you're in that kind of developing stages of the playlist, some couples are like all in on it. Some couples are like, Alex, we have no
Yeah,
idea.
yep,
Just like do it.
yep.
Do you feel like there's a happy medium there? Do you like one as opposed to the other?
Um, if I was to pick one thing that is a must, tell me the songs you hate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's if there was a one thing. But I think like in terms of, the sweet spot of like songs you love, 12 to 20 is probably legit. Like I need to absolutely hear these songs, no exceptions.
Yeah. I feel like to me, 12 to 20 is like, that's an attainable number pretty easily.
Yeah.
Couples can come up with like, it's just basically, these are my favorite songs.
And if couples are having a tough time coming up with those, because sometimes being put on the spot's difficult. They're not DJs,
Yeah.
so I'll ask questions during planning calls. If they were a Penn State couple, I'll ask what bars they hung out at, and I know what years they graduated. I knew the bars. I'm very familiar with the Penn State bar scene, just being a DJ on the scene here.
Yeah.
So I'll know what music that bar was playing in those years, and that'll help me out. If it's a couple that's not at Penn State, if I'm traveling out for a wedding, I'll ask what concerts they go to. Do you have any Spotify playlists you listen to for pre-gaming, or if you're on a road trip, things like that.
Yeah. I feel like from your years of experience, you probably can get a lot more than most from a Spotify
Yes.
playlist.
Yeah.
For me, I'd be like, oh, there's a country song. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 But for
Mhm.
you, you're probably like, boom, boom, boom. Like you're zoomed in,
Yeah, and
getting
I
like
could be
that
a super
style.
creeper too. Like if a couple shares a Spotify list with me, click on that username, look at the rest of their playlists,
Yeah. There you
see what
go.
else is up. Yeah.
Getting a lot of information. What's that process look like? So a couple is like reaching out. Are they setting up like a call with you? And then like, what's that look like kind of going into the wedding day too?
Yep. So initially we've got an assistant. Her name is Emily. And if couples like fill out a website inquiry, she usually texts them, just starts a conversation, but she always kind of pushes them to a meeting with me.
Gotcha.
So she's just kind of on the back end answering emails and texts and doing some admin stuff. And I'm the one who has all the meetings with couples.
Yeah. What are that initial meeting? What kind of stuff are you like talking about? Does it couples have lots of questions in those meetings?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like again, like weddings can be stressful and it's just a lot sometimes for people. So sometimes they won't know what questions to ask, and I'll ask them questions. I mean, I really want to know about their vision, what they're picturing their wedding,
Yeah.
what they're envisioning their wedding to be, both musically and aesthetically.
Yeah. Is there a question or two like top of mind for you that like if couples are trying to find the best DJ, you're gonna help yourself by asking the DJ like this question or that question?
Um, Making sure the DJ is more about them than themselves, I think, is important. And just vibing with the DJ as well. Um, you never want to hire somebody that you're just not don't have any kind of rhythm with. It just feels like you're checking something off of a list versus actually getting something that's inspired and exciting. And that's really what I look for. So I'll ask a lot of questions, like, have you been to a wedding and you've seen something that's make you cringe, or
Yeah.
like get out of your seat and jump up?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a matter of asking the right questions if they don't come to me with a list of questions. And a lot of times couples will, come from me with something from the Knot or Zola or Wedding Wire, and there are a lot of times it's the same questions, but they're great questions.
Yeah. So your services, are they kind of generally the same? Like you're kind of there for ceremony and the party. Is it kind of like the same amount of time usually, or is it kind of vary some?
I think one thing that makes us different, and both myself and Mint, is that we actually do unlimited time up until 11 p.m., starting with guest arrival.
Oh wow.
So it's not like a 4 or 5 hour package. To me, like I made that decision in like 2021 or something around COVID era.
Yeah.
And it was just, rethinking like the old business, the way we always did things and kind of trying to find out ways to improve. And what I found out is, weddings are 12 to 14-hour days anyway.
Yeah.
So what's an extra hour or two? Like,
Well, and it's not like you're gonna go to another one
right, yeah,
after.
yeah. Like I'm going home and I'm gonna have a drink and go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna do anything before it either.
No, no,
Yeah. I'd have to imagine that most couples, when they find that out, it's probably a breath of fresh air.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So when they're coming up with planning the music, maybe more of a couple that's like into music, they enjoy kind of planning for that. What are some kind of mistakes that they can watch out for when they're kind of coming up with their list?
Definitely keep your guests in mind too, because as much as you're throwing a party for yourself, you're throwing a party for your best friends, you're throwing a party for your family. It's a celebration of you, but the music taste should represent everybody there. But self awareness is important too. I am in my 40s. My wife is in her late 30s. My family is a bunch of Brooklyn Italians. Her family is a bunch of central Pennsylvania rednecks. And no disparaging, like she would
Yeah.
tell you the same thing. But when we were planning our wedding, just as a matter of being self-aware, like everybody's like, "Oh, what DJ are you gonna have? What DJ are you gonna have?" I'm like, I don't think I'd want to put a DJ through this torture. Just the music. My father's very strongly opinion. Her father is too. And if he's not hearing Merle Haggard and Hank Williams, and my father's not hearing, and no offense, Dad, disco, he's
Yeah.
gonna be upset. So yeah, and my friends are obviously people with kids too. So yeah, we just did something small, did a loungy thing, but yeah, self awareness is super important. Just kind of take a moment to like think about the things that you like, the things that you remember your family and friends liking from whether it's from college, family reunions, family gatherings, and kind of putting those worlds together.
Yeah, I would have to imagine if they have the mentality to maybe take into consideration all those things, probably more likely to just have more people on the dance floor
Yep,
for more time, which in my mind, I always love seeing the dance floor full
me too. Yeah,
and the couple right in the middle, just having the time of their life. You know, stop and get a drink quick, but like just
yeah,
stay out there for as long as you can.
that's the dream. And a venue with a bar right next to the dance floor is always a win
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, for sure. There's bound to be times when guests come up and you're like mid mix and they're like, hey, can you play XYZ song? And you're like, when you get those requests and they're not fitting the vibe, like how are you handling that kind of situation?
So again, the majority is always the most important. Number one, the couples, and then making sure they're on the dance floor. You said, I
Yeah,
want my couple dead center in the middle of the dance floor, surrounded by their best friends and their family. That's just like that picture is like what lives in my dreams. But yeah, so DJs across the country that I network with and I'm friends with, they call me the request whisperer. Like, there's a lot of DJs that don't take requests well at all.
okay,
It's weird.
yeah,
To me, like it kind of helps you, but yeah, every once in a while you're gonna get an oddball that's just not gonna work, and you could politely decline and ask for a second request. But people are never really rude to me like about it. Like I never get like with rare exception, I think New Year's Eve once in a big club, somebody paid $50 to get in, like was demanding to hear their song, and I may have gotten a little bit of attitude and handed them a $50 bill and I said, here's your $50 back, even though I wasn't the one taking the cover or
yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that. But that's an exception versus a rule. No, usually the requests are all good. There's something that's going to work anyway that maybe I had in my back of my head that I was going to play. But yeah, again, if it's off the wall, if it's oddball, I'll ask for a second request. Sometimes too, you'll get 3 or 4 people come up with that oddball, and if they aren't just sending each other up, which does happen more in bars than weddings,
yeah. Hey,
but
go ask him for the song.
yeah, yeah. Most of the time, like to me, that's a trigger where I'm like, oh, maybe this, even though the song is an oddball to me, maybe it's special to them and their family.
Yeah,
So I'll try it. Yeah.
yeah. I have to imagine saying no to a request is probably not the most fun thing to do.
And people just don't want to be told no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there is part of that where I feel like you are sort of the life of the party, for lack of a better way
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say it. And if you play a not so fun song and everyone just disperses, like how hard is it to get everyone back out on the dance floor?
I try my best to avoid that
Yeah,
that
right.
emptying the dance floor. That's
Yeah.
like the opposite of my goal. So again, it is kind of handling the requests with tact and making sure that there are songs that are going to work. Typically, your DJ intuition, if you're experienced enough, you're going to know what songs are going to work and which ones aren't. And if something's a big tempo jump, you might hit it later. So.
Yeah. Is there sort of like a normal flow that you have? I know you said like each year you kind of update your kind of back end DJ system to be like a fresh new start.
Yeah.
But are you kind of like kind of in a flow there, or is it you're really just reading the room? It's always different. It's always new.
Yeah, it's very much always different. Yeah, because I mean, even though there's a lot of commonalities in weddings and ages and things like that, yeah, I never want to do the cutter wedding. Like, I think one of my DJ friends from South Dakota used the term. He's like, I don't want to do one wedding 100 times. I
Yeah.
want to do 100 different weddings. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to imagine there's probably some DJs out there that are kind of stuck in a rut of, hey, that I've done it a certain way. It seems to work. People seem to have a good time. Why go through the effort it's gonna take? Because I'm sure it's a lot of effort
Yeah.
uh, to not just stick with that playlist kind of mentality. What would you say to them?
Don't be boring. This is like, I mean, I just know that I love what I do,
Yeah,
and part of the reason I love what I do is keeping fresh and learning new music and feeling new music. I think one of the reasons, like, I still DJ nightclubs, and I probably shouldn't. Like, they don't pay that well, and they're super late at night, and I've got a kid.
yeah,
But part of that is like me playing new music and not just playing it and knowing that it's a hit, but feeling that crowd's reaction to that music. Because once you've felt the crowd's reaction to that music, you're like, okay, I could apply this at a wedding. Like, you should be playing new music at weddings. Like, there's no rule that says you have to play stuff that's like 10 years plus old. Now, it just so happens that we're in an era where like new music isn't as danceable as previous generations. And I feel like that stopped with like the DJ Mustard hits in like 2019, 2020, and it'll come back. I mean, and there's exceptions too. Chappell Roan is a good one there. Charlie XCX is another one. And then there's just a ton of female rappers that, sometimes are inappropriate, but sometimes can work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes inappropriate. Sometimes people
Yeah.
like that,
And
but
sometimes, yeah, late at night, sometimes there's room for that.
yeah, for sure. Uh, when you're emceeing, there's a part of your job where you're kind of just throwing down the tracks, having a good time,
Yep.
putting the music out there. But there's a part of the evening where people are looking to you to kind of lead the stuff.
Yes.
Talk me through like how that's sort of changed for you over time. Like that first wedding, I have to imagine like you grab the mic and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey guys."
The very first wedding, I did, and I was friends with these guys.
Yeah.
I called them when I introduced the couple. I introduced them with the bride's last name. So that was my very first wedding, long time
Yeah.
ago. Learned
He
again.
doesn't do that
No,
anymore.
no. You learn from your mistakes. You
Yeah.
don't make the same mistakes twice. But yeah, that's the most nerve-wracking part as somebody that comes from the club world and your mic work is limited to like, oh, drink specials are at the bar, or
Yeah.
put your effing hands up.
Yeah.
Those two.
One, two, three.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a way different world. And realistically, at weddings, and it's something I train DJs because when I'm hiring DJs, I want to hire good ass DJs
Yeah.
that have the fundamentals of being a good DJ and teach them the formal stuff. So it's something that is very repetitious for me in terms of as an educator. But yeah, at weddings, realistically, early on, as a DJ, you're playing the role of an event host way more than you're playing DJ.
Yeah.
And realistically, if you're doing the ceremony, you're a sound tech as well.
Yeah.
So you're a sound tech at the ceremony, you're an event host at the reception, and then when it comes time to throw a party, that's when you put on your DJ hat and just crush it.
Yeah. So you're mostly, if not solely, doing all of the events by yourself, or do you have kind of two people that are going sometimes?
Mostly by myself. If there's somebody with me, it means that there's a ton of extra production or lighting that I need help with,
Gotcha.
or somebody shadowing me to learn.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I do see some companies that are kind of sending, here's the DJ who's mixing stuff and putting the music out there, and then here's the guy who's gonna grab the mic and be extra
Yeah.
personable, and like
I think I'm good friends with the owner of that company. It's something that reminds you of a watch, right?
there's definitely some other ones even like farther out that I've noticed. Um, do you feel like that's like a good route for some people to go, or do you generally say like, hey, go do the whole thing because you can kind of keep a lid on everything yourself?
I think, and I have actually sent out MCs and DJs before in the instance where I'll tell you the best people to hire for MCs are school teachers.
Yeah.
Number one, their summer
Great public
Saturdays are always,
speakers,
yeah, great
yeah,
public speakers. Their summer Saturdays are always available.
and they're
So
extra bubbly.
yeah, yeah. So
Hello, everyone.
so I mean, I've definitely sent out like a club DJ that like can crush the dance floor part and had an MC in that instance.
Yeah,
But ideally, I think it's better for the flow. I think the DJ kind of becomes faceless if they're not the host or MC early on.
gotcha.
So I think it's better for the flow and trust of the guests at the wedding to kind of have that one role.
I'd have to imagine too, business wise, it's probably easier for them to recognize one person as like the face of the company, the DJ that you get
Yep.
in that scenario. It's not like, wait, are you the DJ or who's in charge?
Yeah, I mean, the weddings I've seen, and a lot of New Jersey DJ companies will do exactly what you
Yeah,
talked about. They'll have an MC and then a music mixer, and yeah, the music mixer is kind of behind a facade, faceless. The MC is kind of out on the dance floor, introducing all the formal stuff, but also creating some hype.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Working alongside other vendors, I for me, we get to the reception and I for if it's good or bad, I don't know, but I'm like, okay, DJ's in charge.
Yep.
Like just tell me what you need me to do, where we're starting, what's going on. How does that for you process wise working alongside other vendors? It could be planners, videographers, photographers, maybe even sometimes catering's looking to
Yep.
you for some timing stuff. How's all that work for you?
I think at number one, arrive early as a DJ, set up your stuff, and then have time to go up to the vendors, introduce yourself if you don't know them. Being in a small market, I know most people
Yeah.
here. It's super cool. I get to work with my friends. But yeah, I mean, get to know your vendors, but also, just walk up to them for takes 2 seconds, just show them the timeline. Does this look like kind of what you have? Most other vendors have their own timelines as well. So, and I try to keep my timelines entertainment focused. But again, usually once the reception hits, we are running the show more or less.
Yeah.
And
What's the like entertainment focused timeline? What's that look like?
so we'll just start it with the grand entrance or the entrance of the wedding party, and nowadays that is not a uniform thing. There's 20 different ways to do it.
Yeah,
One of my favorite things now is the bridal bomb, where the wedding party all enters at once.
I love it.
Yeah, and the big thing reason there is like the groom has his friends, the bride has her friends. They might know each other, but they might not intermingle all that much. Some people might be married to other people.
Yeah.
Pairing up, yeah, it's just sometimes is weird.
And it takes like way too long to be like
Yeah,
so and so and so and so, and then you have to wait for them to clear and so and so and so and so.
and with all due respect, the only two people that anybody at that wedding cares about are the bride and groom.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe the parents.
The parents do, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, typically when you talk about the entertainment timeline for a wedding, I consider that the grand entrance or the introduction to the wedding party, your first dance, your parents' dances, your toast, your speeches, things like that. And then, cake cutting, which a lot of times now is done privately with the photographer and videographer. So that's more of the entertainment timeline. And then from there, and if there's any kind of specialty dances that take place on the dance floor.
Yeah. Has the DJ scene for weddings specifically changed much over the 10 years that you've been doing it?
Yes and no. I feel like for the people we mentioned before that are kind of just going in with their rhythm and repeating the same wedding over and over again, probably hasn't changed much. But there's definitely been some formality stuff that has changed. Like a lot of couples I mentioned before are doing private cake cuttings. Back when I started weddings, garter and bouquet ceremonies and things like that were
Yeah.
super popular. If you do weddings west of Altoona, the Pittsburgh Dollar Dance, which have you ever experienced that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a half hour
Yep.
long, but that's kind of disappearing a lot too. So a lot of those type of things, like I feel like people are more party focused. Like, okay, we want the formality and the elegance of a really nice wedding, But at the end of the day, we also just want to rage out and
Yeah,
celebrate
have a
like the
great time.
occasion that it is. Yeah.
We could pull the Pittsburgh like cookie table thing. I would not be upset if that made it like this way some.
Yeah, it still does, but the ones in Pittsburgh, man, I've won one.
So good.
I've done weddings like, well, the one at the Wyndham Grand in Pittsburgh, they had a whole room full of cookies. Like I feel like
You're like, if you
grandma
don't see me behind my DJ booth for a solid 3 minutes, I'm just getting some
just eat it.
cookies. Yeah.
Usually I grab some on the way out.
Yeah.
Like it's like just grab a couple and then I'll eat them in the van on the way home. But I feel like grandma and your aunts and everything like that start baking cookies when you're born and just freeze them until it's wedding day.
Yeah, it's like a Pittsburgh thing
Yep.
through and through. Um, I love what I'm hearing from you so much is that you're creating a custom experience like year after year, even wedding after wedding. Um, I'd have to imagine like there might not even be two songs that you mix together the same way between weddings.
I do have little routines
Okay,
that
you
I come
do.
up with every year.
Okay.
So like whether it's wordplay or kind of playing one song to another using the tones or keys from a song.
Okay.
So I do come up with those every year, and but they're not rigid. It's not like I have to do it. I don't have to get my stuff in. Like if the couple's not feeling that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Could you explain to DJs that are listening, kind of in that category of like, I want to try some new things, but I'm not really sure about it? Where, like, you said wordplay, you said
Yeah.
tone stuff.
Yeah.
Like, could you kind of break some of that down?
Yeah, so if I guess I'm gonna kind of simplify the explanations for those.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
wordplay is taking one song that has a common word theme and kind of playing it into another song that has a common word theme. And it's funny too because if you're on the dance floor and you get it, it's like, oh, that's cool. If you're on the dance floor you don't get it, it's like, oh, he's just playing two songs I like. That's
Yeah.
cool. But the same goes for tone play. This one is an interesting example, but I did this and it's probably my most popular one. But ABBA is huge with like brides and their moms, like so it's like this universal language. And I guarantee in like 3 years everybody's gonna have ABBA on their do not playlist just
Yeah.
because it gets overdone. But I took the tones from Mamma Mia by ABBA, which shockingly is the same exact. It's almost the same exact instrumental as N Words in Paris by Jay-Z and Kanye. So I'll kind of key it out just on my, if you ever seen my DJ boards, they've got little MIDI pads.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of key it into each other. But I have an edit where I basically have like the key things mapped out just to make it perfect.
Yeah. No, that's so fun. I feel like there's a part of it that, I mean, it's probably the same in any industry where it's like the Titans who have gone before us did it a certain way.
Yep.
And it's like, but we could do it different.
Yep. And that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy every year that like puts myself out of business. Yeah.
Hopefully put yourself back into business.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. That was actually a Sheets mentality. I do a bunch of events for Sheets, and their CEO once told me, "Is like when we have our meetings, we don't ever talk about like our competitors. We talk about like what we would do to put ourselves out of business to get to the next level."
Yeah, I love that. Thinking of like things changing, there's a ton more technology, I'm guessing, than when you started 10
Yes.
years ago.
Yep.
Can you explain to me a little bit of like what's changed technology wise?
Everything.
Nothing is the same.
No, yeah, no, it literally is nothing is the same. I mean, like the elements of them are the same, but like I started off on turntables with records, then I switched to CDs, then this magical software called Serato came out that let me play with records while still having all my music on my computer,
Yeah.
and that's what I use now. So that technology has changed. Lighting technology, we've gone from like bulbs that were hotter than the surface of the sun to LEDs. Lighting control software. You used to just like flick on your lights when you were DJing and they just blink and do random things, but now it's intelligently controlled by computer. And even like the presentation in DJ booths, like the good DJs, in my opinion, aren't setting up on folding tables with ugly ass equipment. Bride and grooms and couples have put so much thought into like their layout and the decor of their room that I think you should have a furniture style DJ booth of some sort to kind of not be the eyesore at a wedding.
Yeah, it is accurate because I often don't want to shoot with a DJ in the background because it is very often like some sort of folding table. Maybe they have uh, something to cover the table, some
Yep.
sort of tablecloth, but it's like what you're saying is get the booth. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
And there are companies like Horboard from Germany. I've got a couple of their booths. They make wooden, beautiful DJ booths. I've got a TV cart DJ booth that I use primarily. That's my setup, and it houses everything really nice. But I'm able to put like a monogram of the couple's names on the front of the TV, and it almost looks like furniture. It doesn't look like a TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just want to not be the eyesore and kind of blend in with the furniture,
Y-
with their style and their
Yeah, because
setup.
like you said, they're spent money and
Tons,
effort
yeah.
to get it looking a certain way. You want them to scan the room and be like, that fits in,
Yep.
and not like, oh, what did he? Why
And
did?
and I even have, like I was just telling Casey before we chatted here, that I have now an all white DJ setup that I can use if you have an all white wedding, which is popular and sometimes.
Oh, nice, very
Yeah.
cool. Uh, I'm curious. Like, it seems like it is more than just DJing for you. It's more about the experience that couples are
Yeah.
having with you. What do you want that experience to be like? What do you want them to feel when they're working with you?
Um, God, that's a great question. I guess I want everybody to feel seen, and that's everybody at the wedding. I want everybody to feel represented. But again, most importantly, the people are, the couple and their wedding party. So that's super important for me. And really, I just want you to have the best party of your life up until that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's more if we had more vendors that were thinking forward like that, we'd probably be able to allow our couples to just have the best day, have better days than even they were thinking.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, that's exciting to me,
Yeah.
even from my vantage point as like a videographer, that we kind of get to experience a lot of DJ sets just because we're on the dance floor capturing all of the action and the motion. And I will say, there's a difference between DJs. There's
Oh,
not.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're shopping for a DJ and again, you're just kind of checking off the boxes, like you need somebody to play some music and make some announcements. Yeah, treat yourself better than that. Yeah.
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 Is there Are there any red flags that you would have for couples that, they're in that searching phase or trying to find the best DJ for them, but they're just worried because honestly, unless you have like a show reel of something or they're gonna take the time to listen to a SoundCloud mix or
Yeah.
something, they're kind of just going off of what other people are saying.
That is a good point. So you started off talking about red flags, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of went into two different things. So I'll answer both. But red flags for me, like, if a couple's just like laid back and they want a laid back party, that's probably not for me. It's not necessarily a red flag. It's just personal taste. But just in terms of like what I bring to the table, like that's probably not like just chill stuff. Is like I'm energy.
Yeah.
So and I'm a ball of energy at all times, and it's annoying for the people, my wife and my daughter sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of the big red flag for me. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just personal taste, and I'd be more than happy to rent you equipment and let you plug into it for that, because that's probably what you need for that type of thing. Definitely for couples that are trying to find the right DJ, I would just find somebody you vibe with. But again, like you mentioned about like photographers, you could go on a photographer's Instagram and get a pretty clear view of what their work looks like. Videographers, you can watch, and I love like myself a good 8-minute wedding film.
Yeah.
Way better than like 4 hours back in the day. And they're just cinematic and they're magical, and like, but couples get to experience that and feel that. From a DJ, unless you've been to a wedding where that DJ has played, I mean, you get to eat your cake, you get to try your food. So you get to experience everything ahead of your wedding except for the DJ. Sometimes it's like you're going in blind. So if you've been to a wedding where you've loved a DJ and you're getting married soon, get that business card, get his contact
Yeah.
information. That's important. But if you haven't and you're kind of still going in blind, ask friends, ask your venue, ask your planner. Those secondhand referrals can hold a lot of weight. And if there's a commonality between names that all these people are saying, then maybe you've got a winner. But really, just have a conversation with them and see if you vibe with them. See if they're flexible and adaptable. See if they're willing to customize for you.
I do like the commonality though, because uh, there is not a direct correlation to like the photo example you gave, where
Yeah,
it's like you see the Instagram or you see the full gallery, you're gonna get that, and the DJ, and maybe you feel the same. I mean, they are the party,
yeah,
and it's living or dying on how well or not well they're reading the room and playing good music.
definitely.
And you don't really get a sample of that, like you said, unless you went to a wedding or you're really relying on other vendors and friends. Like, hey, if they're all saying Alex, like, Maybe Alex is the dude.
Yeah, yeah, or whoever it is,
Yeah.
yeah, but hopefully it's me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, another thing, like, I've got Spotify mixes online, but there's so like, a ton of not Spotify, pardon me, SoundCloud.
SoundCloud,
I
yeah.
I got a lot of mixes on SoundCloud, and all my DJs do, and Mixcloud as well. But again, like, I would use those mixes as a way to kinda hear the way the DJ plays versus what they play,
Yeah.
because what they play should be tuned for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
For sure. Because you might not like the music, but if you like the way that it's flowing,
Yep.
kind of
And
picture.
hopefully you like some of it. If you don't like
Yeah.
any of the music, don't hire that
Don't
DJ.
hire.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get a couple of those
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
No, that's super good advice. I still like I'm still stuck on that like commonality. If you're getting the same name from all the people you're talking to, that's probably the one
That's
to go
probably the one,
with.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Especially like you said, if you're vibing well with them. Uh, there's bound to be conflict or things that pop up last minute. Maybe it's from another vendor, or maybe the couple is like, "Hey, we changed our mind. We don't want to do this. Can we do that?" I'm curious how you handle kind of that last minute conflict.
Um, I don't like the word conflicts for that. Just that just doesn't feel right to me. Like,
Yeah.
I've never had a wedding where I've felt well,
We'll say
okay.
like a curveball, like a last minute curveball,
Yeah.
something changes.
I think stay calm, take a deep breath. Think if a couple is just telling you they want to change something or ditch something or flip something around, that's a pretty easy fix, assuming like it's not the second of and you don't have Wi-Fi or something like
Yeah.
that. Then it's like,
Like I don't have
might be
that.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But communication and asking the right questions ahead of time, and then where the area where there might be conflict or with other vendors sometimes,
Yeah.
and just don't let them be confrontational or combative. Like, it's a team effort, and realistically, we each have a different task we're set out to do, but it's ultimately to make the couple happy and give them that day that they want. So, just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, there's definitely, and I'm sure you've experienced it, some vendors that probably shouldn't be in the business. Like, if you don't
Yep.
love it and if you can't be flexible, you can't be calm and adaptable, this might not be for you.
Yeah. There's someone there's someone in that category for
Yeah,
me.
definitely.
But no, if you're there for the couple, then you're probably not gonna be in that situation where it is conflict.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You get to DJ somebody's wedding, like one of their biggest day in their life up to that moment.
Yeah, I low key want to try it, but there's obviously not like I can't just try it, but I think it'd be so fun.
It is. It is
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And we were we were talking to the DJ at our last wedding. Well, filming this, it was this past Saturday. And I was like, yeah, you got to convince my wife because she was there shooting with me that I can buy this like little $300 thing. And he's like, dude, you got to do it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's so fun.
It really is. And they have like Pioneer makes little tiny
Yeah.
like they're $300
Yeah,
controllers,
I know.
and they're a good starting point because you're gonna get the basics from
I
it. Like,
tried to take, we got a tip and I tried to take the tip from one of the weddings and convince her she's like, no, that's our fun money, not your fun money. What's your best recommendation for maybe not picking like the most used song, but still staying true to like their style?
yeah. So you're asking me like if I'm giving a couple's advice on how to pick out those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we were talking off camera just about ChatGPT, and I am a power user. Give ChatGPT, open it up, give it some context about your relationship, where you met, concerts you've been to. You might have to write a couple paragraphs, but tell it to suggest some songs for you. And if you're completely lost, maybe that'll jog some memories and help you kind of like fill in the blanks there.
Yeah, because I do feel like couples probably want the song to be meaningful.
100%. Yeah.
Some will be like, oh yeah, this song for sure.
Yep.
No question. Like I
Some
knew,
people know probably
yeah,
before they were even
right.
engaged.
I
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
this 5 years ago. But for those that are listening, they're like, I have no idea. I'm not an audiophile. I don't like, I don't even listen to a lot of music, but we have to pick something, put all that stuff in the chat GPT and you'll get somewhere.
Yep.
I'm assuming they can take that to you and you can be like, hey, this is actually a good song for it, or that's not really going to work.
I don't really if it's special to them. Like, so if they're on the fence and they're just kind of not in love with it, but they have something, like, maybe I'll give some feedback
Yeah.
on it. But if it's like totally heartfelt and meaningful to them, and it
You're like,
feels
cool,
like
good to
them,
go.
then yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's make that work. Yeah, I mean, there's two Luke Combs songs, pardon me, that sounded very identical. Hurricane and man, I'm gonna forget the second one, but a couple
And I'm
like
not gonna help at all.
no, but musically they're in the same key, they're the same tempo. Like
Yeah.
I feel like maybe he used a template to get another hit, and I'm a Luke Combs fan too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I actually blended those two songs together in editing software and let them have both of them as their first dance
Oh,
song.
nice.
So there's definitely some magic we could create together if you have more than one song.
Yeah, that'd be so. It's a good idea to kind of open just more creativity.
Yep.
You have a chance to kind of create
And
something.
anytime somebody comes with a creative idea, like it's never like, oh, I need X amount of dollars. So I'm gonna do this for free. I'm gonna jump right
Because you
in.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can tell. Yeah, I could see you like at home, just like I'm
I,
putting this together.
Yeah, I've got a wedding in on the 26th, Friday the 26th at Chautauqua Lake, and I don't know when this is coming out, so Friday, September 26th,
Yeah.
2025.
Very specific date.
Yes, but that's not important. What's important is that like we're working on a first dance song. He is Argentinian, and she's just a girl from New York. But they're doing a nice traditional first dance song, and then we're kind of jumping into like an upbeat Argentinian song right after that. And we're on like version 8 of it. We're just trying to get it right because we're practicing at home.
Oh, that's
But
so
like
fun.
it's never like I just love it. Like yeah, let me keep on doing that.
Yeah, no, that's so fun. Alex, it's been so great having you on.
Thank you.
From all that time ago, we did that wedding together, made that connection there, and it's so cool to hear the experience that you've had even from that point and growing your business and having Mint, having all these other DJs going out and doing events, and then also having kind of like your own personal brand and elevating your services. Where can people find and follow along with what you're doing?
Mint is Instagram at Mint DJ Events, mintdjevents.com. Pretty easy, both the same. And myself, it's just as easy, Instagram at DJ Alex Nepa or djalexnepa.com.
Yeah. Well, you definitely need to check out Alex. Go check out those SoundCloud.
Yeah, listen to those mixes. They're all on the website.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we can drop a couple in the description below too. So those links will be there for you to check out. And I'm curious, you had that wedding that you're excited. Is there any other things that are coming up that you're excited about?
Man, everything. I like it. I'm very excitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a bunch of really fun weddings coming up. I've got one for some politicians in DC. That's going to be super fun and hopefully not too political. Hopefully they just like let go of the politics, just have a good ass time. But yeah, actually one of your questions that I want to answer. So you sent some questions ahead of time, and one of them was like, do you have a dream wedding place? And I actually put some thought in this, actually researched it. And I've played in Nemacolin, and I'm a big fan. I will play there. We had John Mayer sing the father-daughter dance at a wedding there.
Jeez.
It was absurd. Like,
That's
and the planner
insane.
was like, "Oh, we've got somebody doing the father-daughter dance,"
I'll tell
and
somebody.
I'm like, "Well, I don't think she could tell me ahead
Oh,
of time."
okay.
And I thought maybe it was like a cousin or uncle with an acoustic guitar. No, John Mayer.
Okay.
But Red Rocks Amphitheater, they do weddings.
Oh my
That would be
gosh, that'd
amazing.
be so
Imagine
cool.
shooting there.
Yeah, I
Dude, yeah.
couldn't.
And the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens. Those would be two like on the aspiration list.
Yeah, that's so cool. I've appreciated everything that you've enlightened us on the DJ side of things and throwing a good party. And I hope you guys listening, like you're hearing the passion here and even learning some new stuff. If you're a DJ that's stuck in the rut of playing the same playlist, I'm not a DJ, but I'd feel encouraged to
Just
try something
do yourself
new.
a favor. It's only going to help you. You're
Yeah.
going to love weddings so much more if you're keeping things fresh.
Yeah, it's so fun. That's all for this episode. If you'd enjoyed this episode with Alex and Mint DJ Alex Nepa, make sure you guys are liking the episode and sharing it with your friends because you guys want to hear more about what's going on in the wedding world. Tune in to our next episode of The Preferred List, and we'll catch you next time.